Hey y'all, it's Felicia. I was gonna do a Facebook Live video tonight at 7 o'clock, but instead I think I'm gonna do my video now and post it up and hopefully get some comments and some good questions out of it. Probably be about 12 minutes, maybe less. So this is mainly for my women viewership. I don't see a ton of this going on with men, though men could find this video useful. Not saying that they wouldn't, but I mainly see this a ton with my women clients. So I'm going to jump right in and talk about some empowerment. And empowerment means to become stronger and confident in oneself. We see a ton of this with women with today's society and how they're all kind of lacking self confidence and lacking in, I don't know, self worth areas and self love and negative self talk. And thinking that we all need to have this idea of being perfect. Women are not perfect at all. Neither are men. But women out there for sure definitely have this thing. We're all kind of honed into it where, women have to be perfect. They all have to raise their kids perfectly. They all have to do this perfectly. They have to have the perfect body. They have to have the perfect wardrobe. It's infinite. It goes on and on and on. I'm here to tell you that the idea of perfect is is unattainable. Um, there is no perfect woman. There is no perfect body. There is no perfect wardrobe. There are and will be no perfect children. Though I'm sure that we would all like to think that our kids are perfect and angels all the time. I don't have children yet, but I have a dog and I call her perfect every other word out of my mouth. And my husband looks at me like you're crazy because she's not. She gets into a lot of mischief sometimes. So the idea of perfection needs to go away. And we all need to understand that there is no perfect. There's only the perfect that you make up in your head. So as long as you're okay with your own idea of perfect, I think the idea of being 100% perfect in the public eye might go away. Um, the next thing that is really bothering me is the lack of responsibility that women actually take for themselves. I hear it almost all day, every day. I think it's super funny sometimes when women are blaming other people in their lives for the reasons that they can't get things done instead of blaming themselves and actually looking kind of inside and seeing, these are the reasons that I didn't get them done. And it is totally okay for me to take responsibility and say to people, hey, I screwed up today. Like, I didn't get this done today. It's perfectly okay and it's normal and it's natural. But this also ties in with weaknesses. If you take responsibility for something that you could not do or that you did do that you did not like that you did, these are weaknesses. And these are things that you can kind of play up and play down and kind of figure out your happy balance with them. So as always, like I hope that women are starting to understand that taking responsibility for yourself does not necessarily mean that, you're going to change overnight. But take that responsibility and ownership for the things that you've done in your life and know that, you know, um, it's perfectly okay to screw up. We don't need to beat ourselves up every single day with with the negative self talk about not being 100% on the game all the time. So will bring me into my next topic, negative self talk. The things that we talk about women women in America. Stop calling each other names. It is awful. I can't stand it. I can't do it. I know that sometimes I will say, things about my girlfriends and they are like looking at me and I'm like, yeah, I actually said that about you. Maybe one of my girlfriends is being extra witchy one day and I call them, a name. And then the next day I'm like, I really shouldn't have done that. Like, it's okay. We all do it as women, but we really need to stop the bad name calling of like calling each other fat and whores and sluts and ugly and I mean, just the list of names is infinite, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. And we hear it all the time, and it becomes one of these things that is just so negatively impounded in your life that you just want to run away from it. Like, for a perfect example, um, I say that you have somebody in your life who does nothing but talk about the negative stuff. That's negative self-talk, and they're basically expelling it onto you. And when people do that to me, I just want to run away. I just want to run away, and I want to hide in a little ball, and I want to be like, oh my God, why is that so awful? Why does it sound so vicious coming out of their mouths? And it's because they're not in a positive place in their life. It's not that they I don't think that they're necessarily trying to do it. I think that they are unaware and are to the point in their life where they're fed up, so they don't know what anything positive would look like. So those types of people I try and stay away from. But the negative self-talk really needs to stop, especially with women and young women, young women, especially the teens. Oh my God, you guys call each other nasty, nasty, nasty names. It needs to stop. It's not becoming of a teenager. A, B, it is detrimental sometimes to young women's health. It's basically looked at as bullying, and women have killed themselves over this sort of stuff. Suicide is real and it does happen, and maybe if you didn't call that girl that name, I'm not saying out there that you all per se in particular, but just in examples. Maybe if you didn't call that girl that name, she wouldn't feel the way that she does about herself. So be positive around other women. Talk them up. Say, give them all of their strengths instead of just constantly beating them in the head with their weaknesses. It's just not needed in this world, especially with the men to women kind of weird balance thing we got going on. Men say all of these nasty, nasty, nasty things about women, and we're just kind of like, okay, no, it's not okay. It's really, really awful. So I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, that men don't say it too, because I know that they do, but it generally happens with women. When women get catty and get jealous of one another, these are the types of things that happen. Instead of being catty and jealous, learn how to talk to one another and be friends with one another and become kind, and have a good heart and a good head on your shoulders, and think before you speak. Don't have foot and mouth syndrome. I have that sometimes. It's not good. And I think the last thing that I want to kind of talk about is just having an open dialogue with everybody. If you have weaknesses, say that you have weaknesses. If you are feeling, the lack of self-worth, say that you're feeling that way. And maybe one of your friends is going through the same thing. Generally, 9 times out of 10, if you're thinking something or feeling something in your head, this is going to sound weird. You're probably going to be like, okay, crazy. But see it like I just call myself crazy because I think it's funny, but it's actually not funny because people actually probably do think that this is a little off. But if you're thinking or feeling something within yourself, you generally attract those types of people. And what I mean by that is they have the same vibe as you. So if you're thinking and feeling like maybe I'm lacking self-worth, you will attract people who are lacking self-worth. But the funny thing is that person who you've attracted will try and make your self-worth better. And you will try and make their self-worth better. And you will give them a different outlook. It's called synchronicity. It's really cool. You should look it up if you don't know anything about it. So synchronicity. Definitely have that sort of vibe in your day-to-day activities. It happens to me a ton at the gym for some reason. I don't know. Maybe I'm just prone to talking to people while I'm on the treadmill. I have no idea. But I've met some of my my really good friends that way. So I just wanted to get a positive note out there to the women. Just be empowered. Be strong, be kind, be generous, be caring, but be yourself. Take responsibility for you. Know that having weaknesses is definitely okay. There is no perfect idea of perfection. And stop the negative self talk. Anyways, I hope you all plan to reach out, maybe give me a comment or a like or a share. As always, have a great day.